I've said so many times, this is a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
We're still in a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
Pandemic for the unvaccinated?
This is becoming a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
Hospitalizations are up 36% and deaths have increased 26%. The Centers for Disease Control says unvaccinated Americans are driving these numbers, accounting for nearly all deaths and almost all of the hospitalizations.
They're killing people. I mean, look, the only pandemic we have is among the unvaccinated.
Salt Lake County officials, including health department officials, are now calling this the pandemic of the unvaccinated.
It's becoming a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
A pandemic of the unvaccinated.
This continues to be a pandemic of the young and the unvaccinated.
Message to platforms like Facebook.
They're killing people. I mean, look, the only pandemic we have is among the unvaccinated.
Well, you know, I think what we've reached is a situation where we're seeing a pandemic among the unvaccinated.
At Hartford Healthcare, which operates hospitals and clinics all over Connecticut, they are calling this a pandemic for the unvaccinated.
It is becoming a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
A new and urgent plea for Americans to get vaccinated.
Do it for yourself, your family, and for your community.
This COVID-19 outbreak in the U.S. is becoming a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
Right now, there's a huge surge of cases here in America, and it is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Because 97 to 99% of the people who are getting sick or going to hospital or dying are unvaccinated.
And what we're seeing is this has become a pandemic that is spreading rapidly amongst pockets of people who are unvaccinated.
So it's turning out to be a pandemic of the unvaccinated now.
The coronavirus, and authorities here at the CDC would like Americans who are holding out to know that they are the ones still getting sick. The director of the CDC is calling this the pandemic of the unvaccinated.
This is an epidemic or a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
And in Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis is focusing more on Dr. Fauci than his state's jump in cases. As his state reaches near the highest number of cases in the country, the governor is fundraising with these T-shirts that read, "Don't Fauci my Florida."
Florida will completely reject fear as a way of making policies in public health. So we're done with fear. We're going to be very explicit about the differences between the science and our opinions. And this idea that, you know, people don't get to make their own decisions, on issues of health related to their own personal health is wrong. Talk to the governor, and there are a few things that we're going to keep in mind as we approach public health here. Florida will completely reject fear as a way of making policies in public health. So we're done with fear. We're going to be very explicit about the differences between the science and our opinions. And this idea that, you know, people don't get to make their own decisions, on issues of health related to their own personal health is wrong, and it's not something that we're going to be about. There are good reasons to reject lockdowns. There are a lot of after lockdowns, overall mortality increase. Lockdowns are bad, but we need to respect human rights, that, you know, people do have autonomy over their lives, and it's not even not okay, but it's not virtuous, and it's not right to just sort of take away those rights from individuals. So vaccines are up to the person. There's nothing special about them compared to any other preventive. The state should be promoting good health, and vaccination isn't the only path to that. It's been treated almost like a religion. That's just senseless, right? There are lots of good pathways to health, and vaccination is not the only one.